I want to share with you something that happened in my life. But before I do that, let me ask you this. Have you ever had a breakthrough in your life? A breakthrough is when you suddenly realize or experience something that you've never realized or experienced before. For example, it could be a financial breakthrough, a spiritual breakthrough, or even a breakthrough in your health. There are times in our lives when we're just about to experience a breakthrough. But right before that breakthrough happens, God tests us. And so I want to share with you 3 times when God tested me right before a major breakthrough in my life. No. 1. When I was about to get married to my beautiful wife, right before that, there was a test. My wife and I, we were called to go to the hospital because someone that we both know was in the hospital, and they requested that we come and minister to them. We got there, we went into the room, and there in that room was the person that I was supposed to be getting married to the next day. Now, it was only the 2 of us, my future wife and I, and this other person who was sick in the hospital bed. And I remember standing there with my future wife and looking at her and saying, "Do you still want to get married tomorrow? Because here we are. It's only the 2 of us in this room. There's no one else here. And this person in the hospital bed is very sick. They may not make it." And I looked at my wife and I said, "Do you still want to go through with this?" And she said, "Yes." The next day we got married. In fact, right after we got married, we went straight to the hospital to go see that person. That person passed away that night. But during that time of waiting for that person, it was a test to see if we really were committed to each other, if we were willing to make that commitment even in the face of death and difficulty. And God gave us a passing grade. No. 2. When I was going through my master's program at a university. At that time, I was taking classes, but I was also working full-time as a youth pastor, so I was working full-time and going to school full-time. And I remember one particular paper that I had to write. This was an 8 to 10 page paper that I had to research and write. And I remember, because I was working full-time and going to school full-time, I didn't have time to work on the paper. I put it off, and I put it off until about 2 days before the paper was due. I had not even started the paper, so I figured, okay, I'm just gonna go to the library. I'm gonna lock myself in the library. I'm gonna get this paper done. So I went to the library, I locked myself in the library, and I started writing the paper. Well, halfway through writing the paper, I felt like I needed to take a break. So I got up from my desk, I walked around the library to find someone to talk to chat with for a little bit, and I couldn't find anybody. Everyone was either in their cubicles working, or they were out in the hallway talking. But no one was in the common area of the library. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go to the internet cafe. I'm gonna get a coffee. I am gone, get some lunch, and then I am gone, come back and finish this paper. Well, I went to the internet cafe, I got the coffee, I got the food. And as I came back to the library, right as I entered the library, I heard an announcement over the intercom that said all students must leave the library. Now the library is closed. And I thought to myself, why did I get up? Why did I leave my desk? If I would have just stayed at my desk, I would have been able to finish this paper because now I had to start all over. And it was a test to see if I would obey the rules of the library, if I would stay at my desk and not get distracted. And I failed that test. No. 3. When I was pastoring a church and I was called to go to a different state to be the pastor of a church there, I had mixed emotions about leaving the church that I was pastoring, but more than anything, I wanted to obey God. And so I resigned from my church, and I accepted the call to go to another state to pastor another church till after I had resigned. I started feeling guilty because I felt like I was abandoning the church that I had served for so long. I questioned whether or not I had done the right thing. I questioned whether or not I should have stayed at my church, and I felt convicted in my spirit that I had made a mistake. Now, unbeknownst to me, there were people who were rejoicing when I left that church, because I was a young pastor and they felt like I was undoing a good job. And when I left, they were excited because they thought, finally, now things will turn around in the church. And so they started seeds of doubt in my spirit, seeds of doubt in my mind, to convince me I had made a mistake, that I should have stayed at my church. As a test to see if I would remain faithful to the call of God on my life, if I would stand firm in my decision, even though there was opposition. I encourage you to keep moving forward, no matter what's happening around you, or what's happening within. Keep moving forward because breakthrough is on the way. I want to hear from you. What breakthrough is God about to take you through? Leave a comment below and tell me what breakthrough is God about to take you through.